Hi, this is Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. So today I'm going to be making a triptych tag journal, or tag book as you might call it. So I have these 3 pre-made tags, but you could easily use something like a cereal box or food packaging. So they measure roughly 10 centimetres by just over 5.5, which is just under 4 inches by about 2.25. So I'll be using some glue, paintbrush, card, some little paints. They're not very good, these paints. I think I maybe got them free. And just some bits and pieces of collage material that I had lying about. I've been going through my stash. I came across a couple of punches. I might use them as well. Some washi and some other embellishments. I'm just going to see where it takes me. My project today was really about going into my stash and seeing what I had lying around and just, looking to see if I could start to use some things up as well as using up scraps. So these papers I'd had sitting around from doing work on my boho journal, so I just grabbed some of those. Suddenly remembered I need to attach the tags, so this could be done by gluing on a piece of paper, but I'm just going to use some masking tape. So I don't want to put them right up against each other. I want a slight gap just so that they will bend, because my intention is that this can be folded in a kind of normal triptych fashion where both cards will fold over the middle card, or I might do it more as a kind of concertina type effect. At the end of the day, that doesn't really matter. So I'm just taking a moment to try and get these level as best as possible. And you can see there that there is a slight gap. So I'm going to put a bit on the other side as well, and this just helps firm it. That bit didn't go on terribly straight. It doesn't matter because most of that will be covered up. I cut off the overhang, and then I decide that I'm actually going to put a bit more of the masking tape down. It will just add a bit of texture. At this point I wasn't sure if I would cover all of the tags with collage material or if I just put some on. So I just put this on. I just thought it would add to it. So I'm just going to use a matte medium to glue down, and I'm just going to start gluing. So I've put this on extra fast because I literally am just gluing things down. So I have book pages, dictionary pages, pieces of map, some pieces of drop paper, bits of jelly print. Some of the bits came off, as I say, some of the pages I've been using in my boho journal, just the end bits. Just using my card there to try and flatten the bits of collage down. That bit in the middle was proving a little bit difficult. Don't know why, but sometimes that happens. It sometimes just depends on the paint or whatever that's already on the paper. And I'm just trying to get a good selection. Now I have done a few triptych type projects in the past. I have one where I did a kind of trifold journal, another one where I did 3 mini canvases, and I think when I did my project on upcycling business cards, I might have done something similar to this in there. So I'll attach all of those projects anyway, just in case you're interested. Now, if you're a member of the Art and Soul Studio Facebook group, then this is your prompt for October, to make a triptych tag journal or something like it. As you know, I keep my prompts quite broad, so it's up to you how you interpret it. And if you can use some things from your stash, perhaps things that have been lying around for a while, all the better. But then I suspect some of you don't necessarily hoard things the way I do. So now just doing the other side. I did give it a quick dry with my heat tool when it was working. It's been very temperamental. I need to replace it. And so this project actually ended up taking me a fair bit longer than I thought it would, simply because I had to wait for the heat tool to cool down. And in the end I do actually end up using a glue stick. So not looking to cover every single millimetre, but just to get a fair bit of coverage down. So while I'm waiting for my heat tool to decide to work again, I just take a couple of the punches and just punch out some little things that I'll use as embellishments. I think I use hearts and little flowers, and again I'm just using some of the painted papers that were sitting around. This produces little kind of flower type things. They're a bit fiddly when it comes to sticking them down, but it just added interest to it. And again, I don't use these punches very often. I can't tell you the last time that I used them, so I thought, well, why not try and make use of them today? Still trying to get that heat tool to work, so again I just put it to the side for a little while and eventually it comes on. So trying to give that as good a dry as possible, making sure that I can still fold it, and again just cutting off any overhang. So as I say, I have absolutely no idea where these little paints come from. I have a feeling I may have got them free with a magazine or something. I just don't know, but I thought, again, let's just try and use them up a bit. They're a little handy size, you know, they'd be good for travelling, but they're not actually terribly good paints. I don't find anyway. I just use that kind of blue turquoise and pink. The other one that's a kind of yellow-ish colour. It had glitter, it said, so I decided not to use that because I thought it might be more difficult to stick things down. So just trying there to leave a bit of my background paper showing through, but not too concerned that they all do. I did make some ATCs recently where I used scraps of paper in the background and I didn't cover them at all. And you know, you can see the kind of difference by leaving as is or by applying paint. So again, I'll attach a link to those ATCs. So just using this background stamp and a StazOn ink just to get a little bit of interest in the background, and I'm trying in particular there to put it over the joins and the tags so it looks as if it's almost one continuous piece. Now just using some of this Tim Holtz tissue paper. Once it's applied, it goes kind of semi-transparent, so that's why I put it on top of the paint rather than underneath it. And again, just trying to get it to go across the joins just to make it look like one continuous piece. And whatever I do on one side, I then do on the other, not looking to make them exactly the same, but I do more or less use the same materials back and front. And you'll see that at this point I had reverted, or I hadn't reverted, I started to use the glue stick. I just thought that would be easier than using the matte medium and then having to wait for my heat tool to start. So now I'm just going to take these little embellishments. I started to place them and then thought, you know, I wasn't sure what else I'd be putting on, and I just thought, go for it. Don't spend too long thinking about it, just get them stuck down. So the little flower things in particular were definitely difficult to stick down, not least because I was ending up getting glue on my thumb and then they were just sticking to my thumb, but I just persevered with it. As I say, I wasn't thinking too much about layout because I wasn't sure what I'd be putting on next. And again, just something similar on the other side. I could have done two sides entirely different, but today it was a bit of what's easiest. So again, just cutting off a little bit of excess there that I just spotted. And then I take out this bag of kind of embellishments, stick-ons. Again, I don't know when I last had this bag open. It was a long time ago anyway, I know that. So just having a look through everything, seeing a few things that I'd completely forgotten that I had. And I thought about these, but they felt a bit big for today. But I'm going to try and get them used in another project. So again, just flicking through the various bits and pieces. Obviously quite a few things with butterflies, and so it comes as no surprise that I decided to use some butterflies, but also these little stick-on flower things. Now I've had them that long that actually they really didn't stick at all, so again I had to use some glue on these. And again, just sticking them down. Just trying to put them in a different place on each of the little tags. Looking at those, but decided that those would be too fiddly. And in the end, I go for these kind of foil butterflies. Quite nice, quite shiny. These thankfully were still sticky. And I just try to get three that are slightly different colours and put them on each side. And they all go back in the bag, but I hope to take them out again soon. So I got out my Tim Holtz Chit Chat stickers here. And I wanted to put a word on each of the tags, and again on both sides. So imagine, inspire and art on that side. Dream, encourage and embrace. So now just taking a pen, black pen, and just going round the words. Just in a quite sketchy way. I then decide to go around the outside of each card, and I do mark the insides just so that it can be seen that there are actually three. And I do that on both sides. I then take my black StazOn and just put a light coat of it right round all the tags and down the middles. So I had thought I might be finished then, but then I decided that I would actually start to do a bit of outlining of the little flowers and the hearts. I go a little bit off in a couple of places. One of the things is for doing close-up, for doing that kind of detail, I need to kind of look bit closer, and that's not always possible when filming because otherwise my head gets in the way. So I just do a couple there to show you, and then I do the rest off camera. Then decide it needs a little bit of white, so I'm just taking this Sharpie white marker and I just do a few dots here and there. I give them a dry because I don't want them to smudge when I turn them over. And I do the same on the other side. I then decide to put a little dot in the middle of the little flowers as well. Now, one of the things that I'm prone to doing is to drifting away when I'm using the heat tool, and I did actually lift a little bit of one of the butterflies and one of the flowers. I think I just got a little bit too close to it. But I can stick that down again. So now I just want to put some ribbon on. These were all from gift bags or something of that sort. All things that I'd kind of salvaged and just put in one of my little scrap bins. So I'm just trying to get something of a reasonable size. And I'm just going to put one in each tag. So that's almost a kind of, I don't know, organza type. It's quite a light material. And I put that on the two end tags and then a different ribbon in the middle. So if you're in the Art and Soul Studio Facebook group, I look forward to seeing your creations. If you're not in that group and would like to become a member, then I'll leave a link in the description box below. And if you're not a member, I hope that this still gave you a little bit of an idea of something you might make. Just making the ribbons a little bit shorter, because I'll probably look to stand the tags up, so I didn't want the ribbon to be too heavy on the top. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate all your comments, all your likes and the subs. So thanks very much. Bye for now.